Well, okay guys, so as you can see here, we got the pump off, right? That's the two hoses that was connected to it. And these right here are the two rods that I've previously showed you that you just pull right on off. You know, you just, if you want to put it back in, you just pretty much turn it to the side there. Okay, that little hook, just hook that down into it, and then you turn it around, and then you hook it right back on top of the pump. And the same thing goes for the rear. Alright, so as you can see here, this is the pump. Alright, we got that off. That was pretty much easy to take off. Just like I said, you know, when you disconnect these two hoses here, which is the drain hoses, you know, you got one hose that goes into the tub itself, and then you got the other drain hose which goes out into the main drain, the sewage, right? And like I said before, you just get this pliers, you know, big or small, as long as it can reach over the two hooks here, as you can see here, right? And then you just squeeze pretty much, and it opens it, and then you just slide it down, slide it right on off, right? So as I'm looking at this rod here, in which turns this right here, let me see if I can get this to focus. You know, this rod right here is pretty much good. It looks great, actually. It looks pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it. That's pretty much the rod for the engine there. And then that helps turn, of course, the transmission that's connected to it. And along with the clutch that's over it, in which we checked, and everything was fine with that. So this, like I was saying before, you know, what I was told is that if it's not the agitator itself or the clutch, you know, then it's a probable cause that it could be this here, which is the pump. And something can probably get stuck in there, you know, from like a small cloth or a small sock or handkerchief, you know, anything that's small when you're washing a full load, right? And as I've showed before, there's like a little area where it's an opening where the water can actually go over the tub. And if you have a full load, a little small cloth or sock or anything can get over that, and then it will fall in between the tub right here and the drain part of the tub. And then unfortunately it will come down this drain here, which is on the tub, and then it will go into the pump, which is this right here. Right, so when you look at this pump, you see the bigger hose right here, you know, that connects to that, which is this thing right here. And when it comes from the tub, it gets stuck in here, and it goes through here and gets stuck in the wheels that's in this pump. You know, that, you know, it churns the water from here to there, and then which is connected to the smaller hose which goes out through the sewer drain. All right, so what I was hoping is that I would see something stuck in this right here, as I was told. Then I could probably say, hey, that's the problem, so the only thing we have to do is get like a needle pliers and pull that sucker right on off. But unfortunately, to our surprise, it's nothing stuck in there. So I was saying, well, it's not this, then it can't be, you know, the grip to this right here, because that looks pretty good. It fits very tightly on this right here, so nothing stripped. So at first I started to think, you know, well, maybe it could be the engine itself, maybe the engine glowed, you know, because I did hear like a humming noise, you know, that was coming from the engine itself when I was trying to get the machine to spin. But you know, I was told that, well, that humming noise just can be from something that's stuck in this, and it's trying to turn, but whatever's stuck in there could be preventing it from turning. So that's probably why you hear the humming noises. So I said, okay, well, that sounds pretty good. I'll give that a try. I will check that out. But, as you can see here, there's nothing stuck in there, so I'm not too sure where that humming noise is coming from. So I was thinking it could be the engine itself. And then also, from what I understand, is I heard, this is the fuse, to the engine here. Okay, as you can see here, that connects to that right there. So sometime what I heard is from, all of the shaking and rattling from the machine, sometimes these things can partially come off, right? And it won't be fully on, and that can, cause the problem too from, having the engine to work at its full power and get this rod to spinning this right here. So what I'm hoping now is I'm gonna try to fully and firmly connect this back to this right here, okay? And we'll see if that's the problem, because we've already checked the agitator, we've already checked the clutch, the transmission, and now we're checking this and everything's fine. So right now we're just left to, it could be this right here, or maybe it's the engine itself. And if it's the engine itself, then we pretty much just have to get rid of this and get a new machine. But we had this machine for a number of years. We had this thing, like, if I can recall, we probably had this machine ever since like 2015. We had it a long time, nearly 10 years. So we got our money's worth out of this thing right here. I can honestly say that. And it was a pretty strong machine over the years. So I can at least give it that respect, So, if it's the engine itself, and which I was told is very rare that the engine blows out, it's usually something stuck in this, or this thing just malfunction itself, or maybe it could be the agitator. It's very rare the engine blows on this thing. But from the looks of things, it could be very much that. But it's like I said, I had this machine for like nearly, since 2015, nearly 10 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the machine. But, just like I said, I'm going to try this right here. I'm going to attach this firmly as it should be. And I'm going to put this pump back on, and pretty much reattach everything how it was before. And, attach the water hoses back, and, put the drain back in, and we're going to give it a shot. Everything looks fine. It looks like nothing's in it. This thing's turning well, as it should, as you can see there. It's not stuck or anything, so it can't be that. And then if I do the same thing to this right here, I'm going to see if I can do that holding a phone. Might be a little hard to do, but you can see it a little bit. It's turning. You can see it. So everything's fine with these. So there's nothing preventing these from turning. So just like I said, hopefully it's not the engine, but that's pretty much what we're leaning towards now. So I'm just going to reattach everything and see what happens, and pretty much pray and hope for the best. If not, I can pretty much understand, this is, we've had the machine for 10 years, but, it's an old model machine, just like I said before. So, but just because the model is old doesn't mean that the engine and the transmission and everything else is old. It pretty much looks decent, but we're going to see, we're going to see. All right, so I'm just going to reattach everything and flip this thing back up right and see what's going on with it. Okay, get what you guys live. Well, okay, folks, here we go. We got everything put back together, set back in order. We have it sitting upright. All right, let me put this back to that. Alright, so we got everything back together. Connected everything back to where it's supposed to be. Drain hose. That's back where that's supposed to be. Back still intact. Everything's pretty firm as it should be, as you see them shaking it. So what we're going to do is going to push it back into that corner there and connect the hoses to the cold and the hot. drain pipe back into the drain over there for the sewer. And we're going to see what happens. You know, I put back in the fuse, which is the cord that goes to the engine itself. You know, just like I said, you know, I was told that sometime that cord comes off, you know, due to all of the shaking and rattling from washing the clothes sometime, you know, so maybe that's the problem. You know, we checked everything. We checked the transmission. We checked the torque. We've checked the hoses, the drain hoses. We checked the water pump, and they look pretty fine. You know, the agitator's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. We checked the ridges to that, which is under this right here. You know, where you put your washing powder or liquid and detergent. All of that is fine. So just like I said, I just connected the wiring, the fuses back firmly as it should be, and we're going to plug everything back up to where it's supposed to be. And you know, hey, if it's the Lord's will, this thing will work as it was before. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to push this back. I could probably slide this back while I'm actually holding it on. It's going to be pretty difficult, but let's see if we can just slide that back in place there. Alright. Make sure the hoses is not in the way here of the washer. Alright, we got that back over there. Alright. I'm pretty much doing this with my legs here, so you gotta have some strong horse-like legs to do that there, right? Okay, so what we're going to do with this right here is I'm going to put this connector piece back to the drain here. Alright, you just slide it on like that. Okay. That goes right there. And of course, you put the drain on the hose there. There we go. Of course, the plug goes right here. Always the bottom plug, so you can have that space, whatever you need to plug that to. And we just got to connect these two hoses back. We got the hot and the cold, and that will be it. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect those two, and as a matter of fact, just to give you an idea, you know, for those who may be curious. All right, let me make sure this is not in front of the drain pipe here, so we're going to bring that right up under there like that. There we go. So as you can see here, this is the hot one, right? As I'm shaking it right here, you can see, okay, that goes to the hot one. So what you're going to do is connect that to the hot one. Alright, so make sure it's on there even so you don't leak any water out. There we go. And as the old saying goes, righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? So there you go. Turning it clockwise. Just want to put that on it just like that for now. Then of course it's obvious that this one goes to the cold, since we just put on a hot one. Alright. There you go. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Make sure it's even on the ridges so no water leaks out. Okay. And then we're going to get some pliers to tighten that in. Of course, you know I can't do that and hold the phone at the same time. And that's it. Everything's back to where it's supposed to be. And then we're going to give it a shot. See if that would help the water pipe. It's like the water pump churn as it's supposed to when it's dispensing the water back into the drain pipe here. All right. So we'll get back to you soon.